Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a book that isn't just a bestseller, it's a cultural phenomenon. It is a book that has completely reshaped how millions of people think, breathe, and exist. If you've ever felt like your mind is an untamed animal running wild, keeping you awake at 3 a.m. with anxiety, regret, and endless mental chatter, then this video is for you. We are breaking down The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle. This isn't a book about productivity hacks or how to make more money. It's a book about the ultimate liberation, freeing yourself from your own mind. Get comfortable, grab a notepad, turn off your notifications, and let's dive deep into this life-changing philosophy. Part 1. You are not your mind. Let's start with a story that Eckhart Tolle uses early in the book. Imagine a beggar who has been sitting on an old wooden box by the side of the road for over 30 years. One day, a stranger walks past. The beggar holds out his old baseball cap, mechanically asking for some spare change. The stranger says, "I have nothing to give you." Then he looks at the beggar and asks, "What's that you're sitting on?" The beggar replies, "Oh, it's just an old box. I've been sitting on it for as long as I can remember." The stranger persists. "Have you ever looked inside?" "No," the beggar says. "What's the point?" "There's nothing in there." The stranger insists that the beggar pry open the lid. The beggar manages to wedge the old wood open, and to his absolute shock, disbelief, and joy, he finds that the box is filled to the brim with gold. Tolle says that he is that stranger, and he is telling you to look inside your own box. But the gold isn't money. The gold is a deep, radiant, unshakable peace that is already inside you, waiting to be discovered. The problem is, we are too busy begging for scraps of validation, happiness, and security from the outside world. The great illusion, the voice in your head. Have you ever noticed that there is a non-stop voice talking inside your head? It's the voice that comments on everything you see, rehearses arguments you'll never have, complains about the weather, and replays embarrassing memories from 10 years ago. Here is the first major breakthrough of the book. You are not that voice. If you can hear the voice talking, then who is the one listening to it? Think about that for a second. If you can observe your own thoughts, it means there are two entities, the thought itself and the observer of the thought. Tolle explains that your true identity is not the chaotic thoughts spinning around in your brain. Your true identity is the quiet, still awareness behind those thoughts. When you realize this, something incredible happens. You start to untangle yourself from your mind. You go from being the actor trapped in a stressful movie to the audience member sitting back, watching the movie play out. The problem with identifications: why do we suffer so much? Because we mistakenly identify ourselves with our minds. We think we are our thoughts, our social status, our jobs, our bank accounts, or our relationships. Tolle warns that the mind is a wonderful tool if used correctly, but if used incorrectly, it becomes incredibly destructive. Strictly speaking, you don't use your mind uses you. It runs your life from the background, making you believe that if you lose your job, your house, or your partner, you lose yourself. But your true essence, your being, cannot be threatened or destroyed by external circumstances. Part 2. The Genesis of Human Suffering. Now let's look at why we experience so much emotional pain. Tolle introduces an equation that explains human misery beautifully. You create pain every time you judge the present moment as bad or undesirable. The mind absolutely hates the present moment. Think about it. The mind can only operate in two realms, the past and the future. The traps of the past and future. The past gives us an identity. Look at what I achieved, or look at what they did to me. The future promises us salvation. Once I get that promotion, I'll be happy. Or, when I find a partner, I'll feel complete. But Tolle drops a massive truth bomb here. The past and the future have no reality of their own. The past is nothing more than a memory trace stored in your brain of a previous now. The future is a mental simulation of a future now. When the past happened, it was now. When the future comes, it will happen in the now. Nothing ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. Therefore, the only thing that actually exists, the only thing that is truly real, is this exact moment. Right now. The cost of living outside the present. When you live entirely in your head, constantly thinking about the past and the future, you are denying reality. This denial manifests as emotional distress. Anxiety, stress, worry, and fear are caused by too much future and not enough presence. You are projecting your mind into a scary hypothetical future scenario, while your body is sitting safely in a chair. Guilt, regret, resentment, and sadness are caused by too much past and not enough presence. You are replaying events that cannot be changed, wishing they were different. By constantly wishing you were somewhere else or at some other time, you miss the beauty, the peace, and the magic of the only life you actually have, the life happening right this second. Part 3. Moving deeply into the now. How do we actually break out of this mental prison? Tolle gives us practical steps to shift our awareness from the mind into the present moment. He calls this entering the now, snapping the chain of mind activity. The next time you catch yourself worrying or stressing, stop. Don't fight the thought. Don't try to force it away. Fighting a thought just gives it more energy. Instead, simply observe it. Say to yourself, there is a worried thought. The moment you observe the thought, you create a gap in your mind chatter. In that gap, your mind stops running the show, and your true awareness takes over. Another incredible trick to quiet the mind is to direct your attention into your physical body. Tolle calls this connecting with the inner body. Close your eyes right now and ask yourself, how do I know that my hands are still there without looking at them? You'll start to feel a subtle tingling, a warmth, a vibrant energy flowing through your fingers, your arms, your chest, and your feet. That feeling is the life force itself. By focusing your attention on the vivid energy inside your body, you anchor yourself firmly in the present moment, leaving no room for anxious thoughts to survive. The art of acute presence. You don't need to be sitting on a meditation cushion in a monastery to practice presence. You can do it while washing the dishes, walking down the street, or taking a shower. When you wash the dishes, don't think about what you have to do at work tomorrow. Feel the warm water on your hands. Smell the soap. Listen to the sound of the water hitting the porcelain. Watch the bubbles disappear down the drain. Transform a mundane chore into a rich, sensory, meditative experience. This is what Tolle calls acute presence. When you live like this, everyday life becomes deeply satisfying, regardless of what you are doing. Part 4. The ego and its craving for drama. To truly master the power of now, we have to understand the main villain of our inner story, the ego. In Tolle's vocabulary, the ego isn't just vanity or arrogance. The ego is the false self-image created by your mind. It's the identity built out of your beliefs, your nationality, your job title, your possessions, and your personal story. Why the ego hates the present? The ego is terrified of the present moment. Why? Because the ego can only survive if it can fixate on the past or future. In the absolute stillness of the now, the ego dissolves. It disappears. And to the ego, its own disappearance feels like death. To stay alive, your ego creates constant problems, drama, and conflict. It loves to complain. When you complain about the bad service at a restaurant, your coworker's incompetence, or the slow traffic, your ego is secretly rejoicing. By making someone else wrong, the ego makes itself feel right, superior, and more secure. Have you ever met someone who seems to love drama? If their life gets peaceful for more than 2 days, they find something to get upset about, start an argument, or bring up an old grievance. That is the ego fighting for survival. It feeds on negative energy and conflict. The illusion of more. The ego also lives in a constant state of scarcity. It always feels incomplete, vulnerable, and insecure. To fix this, it tries to accumulate things to strengthen its sense of self. It whispers, if I buy this car, I will finally be enough. If I get 10,000 followers, I will matter. But this is a bottomless pit. Once you get the car or the followers, the thrill fades within a few days or weeks. The ego's structural emptiness returns, and it immediately starts craving the next thing. You become trapped in a treadmill of endless consumption and desire, chasing a future moment of satisfaction that never actually arrives. Part 5. The pain body, the inner monster. This next concept is one of the most brilliant parts of the entire book. Tolle introduces us to something called the pain body. The pain body is an independent accumulation of old emotional pain that lives inside your energy field. It's composed of every heartbreak, trauma, rejection, and sadness you've experienced since childhood that you never fully processed or released. Most of the time, the pain body is dormant, sleeping inside you. But every now and then, something triggers it. It could be a critical comment from your partner, a minor setback at work, or even just a negative thought. When the pain body awakens, when the pain body wakes up, it completely takes over your mind. Suddenly, you aren't yourself anymore. You become angry, defensive, paranoid, or deeply depressed. The terrifying thing about the pain body is that it wants to feed. And what does it feed on? It feeds on more negative energy. It will drive you to pick a fight with the person you love most, abuse substances, or spiral into self-loathing, just so it can generate more pain to consume. Have you ever looked back at an argument you had and thought, why did I get so incredibly angry over something so small? That wasn't even like me. That was your pain body taking the steering wheel while your conscious awareness was fast asleep. How to dissolve the pain body? You cannot fight the pain body with willpower. You cannot suppress it or lock it away. The only way to dissolve the pain body is through conscious attention. The moment you feel the wave of anger, sadness, or anxiety rising inside you, don't judge it or act on it. Instead, just watch it. Become aware that your pain body has awakened. Say to yourself, the pain body is active right now. I can feel the heavy pressure in my chest/stomach. By observing the emotion without reacting to it, you cut off its power source. You separate your awareness from the emotion. The pain body can no longer feed on your thoughts because you have stopped giving it fuel. Over time, under the steady light of your conscious presence, the pain body begins to lose its strength and eventually dissolves. Part 6. True enlightenment in relationships. Relationships are often our greatest source of pain and frustration. We enter relationships expecting the other person to make us happy, solve our loneliness, and fulfill our deepest needs. Tolle calls these egoic love-hate relationships. The addiction to other people. At the start of a relationship, everything is magical. You feel complete, alive, and blissful. You think this person is your savior. But Tolle warns that this kind of love is often an addiction. You are addicted to the feeling the other person gives you. Eventually, the honeymoon phase ends. The other person fails to meet your expectations. They display flaws, they withdraw their attention, or they say something hurtful. Suddenly, the love flips instantly into anger, resentment, and hostility. This happens because you used the relationship to cover up your internal pain, loneliness, and sense of lack. When the cover-up stops working, you blame your partner for the pain you feel, when in reality, that pain was already inside you long before you met them. From egoic love to enlightened love. How do we fix this? By realizing that the purpose of a relationship is not to make you happy, but to make you conscious. Stop demanding that your partner fill your internal void. Accept them exactly as they are, in the present moment. When your partner reacts from their ego or their pain body, do not react with your own ego. Remain present, spacious, and non-judgmental. When you bring presence to a relationship, you create a safe space where healing can happen. Love transforms from an addictive game of mutual manipulation into a deep, spiritual connection where two people honor each other's true essence. Part 7. Beyond happiness, the realm of peace. Tolle makes a vital distinction between two words we often confuse: happiness and peace. Experience, source, and nature. Stability. Happiness depends on positive conditions, getting what you want, things going your way. Temporary and fragile. Vanishes when conditions change. Peace depends on deep alignment with the present moment, accepting whatever is. Unshakable. Exists even in the midst of hardship or loss. The cyclical nature of life. Life operates in natural cycles. There are cycles of growth, success, and abundance, and there are cycles of decay, failure, and loss. The ego wants only the positive cycles, fighting tooth and nail against the negative ones. But true peace comes from accepting the natural flow of life. When you are in a down cycle, perhaps you lost your job, went through a breakup, or are dealing with an illness, stop telling yourself that things should be different. Accept the reality of this moment. When you stop resisting the negative cycles, they lose their power to make you suffer. You can feel profound inner peace even while experiencing outer difficulty. Part 8. The power of surrender. The final, ultimate principle of the book is surrender. For many people, the word surrender sounds weak. It sounds like giving up, being passive, failing to take action, or becoming a doormat. But Tolle completely redefines the concept, what surrender actually means. Surrender is not about accepting a bad life situation passively. It is simply about accepting the tiny fraction of a second that is the present moment. Let's say you are stuck in deep mud. Surrendering doesn't mean saying, well, I guess I'm stuck in the mud forever, I'll just sit here and die. That's resignation. Surrendering means looking at the situation and saying, okay, right now, I am standing in mud. That is the factual reality of this moment. I cannot change the fact that I am in the mud right now. When you accept the reality of the present moment without complaining or resisting it emotionally, your mind becomes completely clear. All the wasted energy you were using to scream, cry, and curse the mud is saved. From that place of clear, calm presence, you can take decisive action to pull your foot out of the mud. The ultimate secret to transformation, non-resistance, is the greatest power in the universe. When you surrender your internal resistance to what is, you align yourself with the intelligence of life itself. If you find yourself in an intolerable situation, a toxic job, an abusive relationship, or an unsafe neighborhood, you have 3 choices. 1. Change the situation, if you can take action to alter it. 2. Leave the situation completely. 3. Accept it totally, if you can neither change it nor leave it right now. Any other response, complaining, hating, worrying, or blaming, is completely insane because it creates internal suffering without changing the outer reality by even 1 millimeter. Drop the resistance, pick one of the 3 options, and live with total presence. The ultimate summary for daily life. Let's bring this all down to earth. How do you live the power of now every single day? Here is the quick checklist to keep in your mind. Watch the thinker. Frequently observe the voice in your head without judging it. Realize you are the awareness, not the thought. Check inside your body. Whenever you feel stressed, take your attention away from your mind and feel the vibrant energy inside your physical body. Look for the gap. Create small gaps of absolute presence throughout your day by focusing 100% on your senses during ordinary tasks. Acknowledge the pain body. When heavy emotions hit, observe them objectively rather than letting them run your reactions. Surrender to what is. Stop fighting reality. Accept the present moment as if you had chosen it yourself, and take action from that clear space. My friends, your life is not a grand puzzle to be solved in the future. Your life is only ever happening right now, in this precise second. The future you are waiting for is an illusion. The past you are dragging behind you is a shadow. Drop the baggage. Step out of your mind and step into the incredible, brilliant power of the present moment. What part of your life are you resisting right now? How can you bring more presence to your day tomorrow? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If this deep dive helped open your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe so you never miss another breakdown, and share this video with someone who needs to quiet their mind. Stay present, stay conscious, and I'll see you in the next video.